Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are back to recap a interesting Saturday slate of games and look forward to a worrisome Sunday slate of games. We have the Spurs in the best matchup tomorrow, and that's never a good sign.
Yeah, if today's slate left you with a bad taste in your mouth, tomorrow's not going to be a breath mint for you. It's quite ugly tomorrow, but it's a grind, right? And we're here every day, good or bad,
Hell yeah.
to bring it to you, huh?
I actually did okay today. The early slate was where my money was won. I won. I got into the top 30 in a GPP, and turned $25 into 150. So I was pretty happy about that.
Wow, hell yeah!
I was one of the very few that rostered Monte Ellis today, and something just stuck out at him for me, man.
Ante did it for you tonight.
I'm telling you, dude.
It's not one that I generally like to play, but because of his roller coaster nature. But you know when it happens with that dude.
I just saw. You know what I saw is I saw an increased number of minutes, and this was after as I was looking, I was building my lineup, and I was like, I had 4,000 left to spend at shooting guard because I wanted Giannis, Paul George, Miles Turner, and Blake Griffin. I faded Kemba and I faded Teague. By the way, I hope you guys didn't play Kemba. Kemba was. I don't care what the matchup was. Kemba's on a slump right now, and if you watched the fourth quarter, this is Nick Batum's team now.
Yeah. He is in a serious slump. He is, man. And that's the thing is, even when Batum isn't shooting well, he does other things that can still contribute, and you can still look at him. But when Kemba's can't shoot,
He's done.
He's not really a viable fantasy option.
Dude,
I mean, obviously we know what his
points.
upside is.
0 points after the first quarter. I mean, he ended the game with I think 25 fantasy points, or 27, something like that. But that's not something. That's not what you want from a.
Yeah, that's what he's been averaging over the last 10. It seems like.
Yeah, that's not what you want from someone you're paying over 7,000 for.
But yeah, that early slate, that was nice. I didn't really get any money in there, unfortunately. Just had shit going on. But the main slate, man, it fucked with all of us today.
The main slate was a mess.
Slapped us around a little bit.
The main slate was a mess, man. Brandon Knight, he had -2 fantasy points at halftime.
Well, it was -1 on DraftKings, so, he's got that going for him.
Fuck you.
No, but seriously, I mean, I know a lot of us invested our money into this, and I know on a Saturday, a lot of you invested your quality time into this slate, and I'm sorry, I am. The nights are going to be like this, but that's what's cool about the Fantasy Phenom is we offer some fun in the fact that everybody else with us, we have people that we can talk about it with. We have a support group on days that we're losing and days that we're winning.
It really is a support group, man. That slap group tonight.
So if you can find other people to,
drown your sorrows out in. Or you can just you can just do what Theo does and drink a bottle of Hennessy.
It's funny too that because on days like today when like everybody seems to be like off on their plays or on the bubble of winning, there's always that one guy that comes in and be like, "Oh, I won all this money," and everyone's just like, "Come on."
Speaking of that, Josh had a really, really nice score on FanDuel today, and guess how much money it won him?
Yeah. Well, it did win him the title of top phenom. So, Josh, congratulations. That brings us into a nice little segue into the congratulations. Josh Tannery is our top phenom today on FanDuel with a top score of 306.5.
And it won him nothing.
So,
nothing, by the way.
It won him the title of top phenom, Kyle. That is priceless.
It is, but I have to throw shade at Josh because he can't play FanDuel because he's in Texas, or he can't play it for money, so.
Yep, so contact your local lobbyists.
I saw someone today, they were like, they saw that Josh couldn't play, they're like, all right, you give me your lineup, I'll give you 20% of the winnings.
There you go. Need to get something, right?
Business, man.
And then Eric won on DraftKings today. Steelers 703 with a line of 287.75. So I know it's tough to take these tournaments down or these contests down on a daily basis. So congratulations to you guys again. So this is the first week we're doing a contest with all the winners. So look for the invitation tomorrow. If you have won one of the contests this week, come in first place, you're going to get an invitation to a tournament to compete against everybody else who won first place this week for an extra couple points.
And that's how many people you got? What, 6 or 7? 7 plus you?
Yep.
Man.
If you win that, you get an extra 5 points.
Man. Theo had to bring up Jaylen Brown. He had to do it, man. Jaylen Brown was doing okay, and then he got hurt. Didn't play the entire second half. I didn't roster him, though. I did say last night, don't play him. So, joke's on you if you played him. But let's look at some of the projections we had. So, Russell Westbrook, 63 points. Steph Curry balled out tonight. James Harden fell short. LeBron James right at his projection. Giannis right there. Blake Griffin right there. Kevin Durant right there. It's a theme, Mike. All these projections are getting closer and closer. Nick Batum balled out. Patrick Beverley. I mean, I knew he had a good matchup, but damn. I think he had like 18 points in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he came out really hot.
Rob just asked, how do you get in this tournament? So in order to get in the Phenom Duel and the Money Melee, you just have to be a part of the Facebook group. Mike will post those in there daily.
Yeah, they'll be pinned to the top of the page. You just click in there, and it's free to join, and you post your best lineup.
So let's look. I'm noticing a trend, Mike, and we were talking about this in the group earlier, in the Slack group. So 5 of the last 7 nights, 4 of the last 7 nights, I'm sorry, the top line has come from the projection based on floor. Take that how you will. But again, it happened tonight. And there's 3 other nights. 1 came from projection, and 1 came from ceiling. So more than 50% of the time that since I've been tracking, the top line has come from the cash side or the floor side of projections, and 2 of the other 3 came from the ceiling. And I don't know quite why that is yet, but it's always, out of those 4 times, 3 have been either the first or second optimal.
Yeah, it's something to look at. I mean, I think we probably need a larger sample to really make a definitive, conclusion. But that is interesting to me as well. I mean, the only thing I can think of is, when you're considering floor on slates like today, where it's all, we're picking people that we normally wouldn't pick. The value's opening up. I think going toward the safe floor is a good tournament strategy.
Yeah, it's something to be said. I don't know. I will say it's not surprising that the middle projections, the ceilings, they're hit or miss, really. So this is where, when we had that lineup that hit 391 and we had the other one that hit 370, it came from the ceiling projections. But then it also doesn't surprise me that you end up with scores that are 250, because when you're looking at a ceiling, you're looking at what can the person do, not what
it's
will
boom or bust.
Exactly.
Again, like we said, if you're playing in tournaments with the intention of getting to the cash line, you're doing it wrong. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a tournament player, you're going to have many nights where you don't make it to the cash line, but you're going to have some nights that you win a lot of money, and that's the whole point.
So it's just something to keep in mind. Like I said, I'm going to keep tracking it. But like I said, over 50, I mean, in the last week, 4 out of 7 have come from the floor side. So just something to keep an eye on. But I will say, I had a couple people use this top line tonight, and they blew away. One person finished first in his quintuple up. So, and that was, if I have it correctly, let me check the message.
Yeah, again, that lineup would have won the contest on FanDuel today. So.
Yeah, he finished first in his $500 quintuple up, and that was Jim Frost, ECW Hardcore. He's in the chat right now, so shout out to him.
Nice, man. Good job.
Jonathan in Australia, because we're worldwide, took down a GPP today, so congrats to Jonathan.
Nice. Spread the word out there, man.
Yeah,
I know
bud.
you're probably not happy with our new morning shows, but it's here and there.
All right. Well, 4 game slate tomorrow,
Yep, that's
and
right.
as I mentioned in the beginning, worrisome. The Spurs have the best
For many
matchup.
reasons.
The Spurs have the best matchup on the slate, and that's always a concern.
Yeah, for many reasons. I mean, the biggest concern, in my opinion, with what NBA DFS has become is the fact that the main slate starts at 3:30 and the last game starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So anything can happen with those last two games if you enter your lineup in the main slate. That to me is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So you got to be really, really smooth and sharp when you're talking about
So maybe you.
who you're picking.
I don't know. I mean, I would say play it safe, but the one good thing here's the good thing, Mike, is the very last game is New Orleans and Sac. There's really not too much that we don't know about Sacramento, right? They roll out who they roll out. We have the
Well,
injury
we don't
news.
know about Ty Lawson. He got upgraded to questionable. And to me, that changes a whole lot.
See, I'm not really. I don't know if I'm really looking at Ty Lawson out of all the point guards tomorrow,
Well, I'm not looking at Ty Lawson, but
or Darren Collison.
that affects who I'm looking at as far as either Darren Collison or Matt Barnes, for example. I really do think that's one of the bigger injury news in the last two games.
I will say we do get King news relatively early though. The Kings beat writer is pretty on top of it. We got
Yeah,
Ty Lawson news pretty early last slate. New Orleans, the only news obviously is Terrence Jones and Tyreek Evans, so we'll find out about that.
yeah. I have Terrence Jones as questionable. Etwan Moore is considered doubtful. Tyreek Evans is considered probable, and no one cares about Ajinka.
You want to know what made me laugh, man? So I'm in another Facebook group. I've been part of this sports group for years, and we're talking about Jaleel Okafor. He's going to get traded. It's going to happen probably in the next couple days, and I think it's going to be the Pelicans, right? It just seems like the match, and it's who's been in the most talks.
That's what I've heard too.
And this guy, who's the biggest Warriors homer in the entire world, like he doesn't watch teams outside of the Warriors, and he says, "Oh man, you really have to wonder how that's going to affect Omar Asik." Since December 23rd, he's played 14 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think they like Asic very much.
And then he goes on to say, you want to make sure that all your guys are buying in. You know, how is that going to affect his feelings?
That's why they went out and signed Donatas Montejunas, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think they're in the. I think Asic is just fine making his money sitting his pretty ass on the bench, man.
Yeah. Dave, Detroit is playing Toronto.
That is correct.
So he got mad because we didn't answer his question. Dave's a little sensitive.
Sorry.
All right, well, out of the point guards from Chicago, are you looking at any against Minnesota?
The point guards in Chicago, man, I would be. It's just who the heck is going to play? I mean, we do have. That's the another thing. Like, hopefully, I think Jimmy Butler was downgraded to questionable
Yep.
since last game. So, does that mean that we see Michael Carter Williams play the three again, and then we see a Rondo, Grant, Cannon split at point guard?
I'm not going to touch it.
It's tough, man. I don't think you touch it either. But again, we are going to talk about a lot of people in this slate that we probably won't talk about for a very long time, or probably ever even consider talking about for a very long time. It's just we have to do it because there's really nothing much to look at. So again, if Butler is out, there's going to be some value that opens up, and so you're going to want to try and pinpoint it. So in my opinion, if Butler is out, obviously Wade becomes an elite play on this slate.
Yep.
And then again, I think you might have to take a look at Grant and Rondo and Michael Carter-Williams as well, and kind of just evaluate them based on matchup and price and consistency.
If Butler's out, I think I'd go to Carter Williams.
Right, and I think that's going to be the primary thing that people do. But I think you can also look at Rondo. And
here's who I like, though. Out of this game, I like Ricky Rubio.
Me too. I do like Rubio. He's got a great match. He's probably got the best matchup on his team.
Yep.
He put up 42 against the Pelicans. And last time these two teams played, he had 35 points, which would give you 5 times value. So,
and here's what you can do as a safe stack tomorrow. So, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins have a positive correlation together, meaning that when one does well, the other does well. That's what the correlation is. Ricky Rubio also has a positive correlation with those two. And there is no injury concern and or late scratch concerns with Minnesota, along with the fact that they all play heavy minutes.
Yeah, they're all in line for big minutes, man. You can throw Jang in there as well. So when you're looking at doing something like that, you tend to only want to do it with one game. You don't want to have 2 games really where you're doing that, unless you know that they're all going to play big minutes like this.
If you want to talk about a safe stack tomorrow, though, and one that makes sense from a numbers standpoint,
absolutely.
That's one that you can get behind. They're all all 3 have good matchups.
Mm-hmm. Right, but the only thing you have to caution with that is the fact that you're limiting what you can. You're taking other people that are in good matchups on this slate out of your lineup.
Absolutely.
Because that is not going to be a cheap stack. So if you look at other people on this slate, like Kawhi's in a great matchup, can you get Kawhi with that stack? Probably not. So you have to kind of pick.
You might be able to, honestly, with Rubio at 66, Wiggins is at what? I don't have. I have to look at
over 7. Towns is over 10.
It's doable.
I don't see. I don't think that you can do it on DraftKings, and it might be doable, but it's going to leave you to pick through value, and the value on this slate is like, yuck, man. I'm just saying, if you go with a stack like that, you're gonna be.
You limit what you can do elsewhere.
Right, you're gonna be tossing other people that a lot of other people are gonna have too, off the board.
Kyle Lowry's in a good matchup at home against Detroit tomorrow.
Yeah, he's only 8K on DraftKings, and Detroit is a top 5 team at defending shooting guards, and whenever I see that, I always like Kyle Lowry, especially because Lowry, I think Detroit's a top 10 team in DVP against point guards. So
yep.
Lowry's in a great spot. DeRozan is not in a great spot when it comes to fantasy, and he seems to be somewhat underpriced on DraftKings at 8K. So. To me, it's between him and Holiday, and I like the game that Holiday is in better.
I agree.
A lot better, actually.
He's cheaper on FanDuel as well, 8,200.
So I'm leaning Holiday over Lowry, but I think Lowry is somewhat safer in this game. It just seems safer, but when you're considering this game as a whole, I think there's going to be a lot more fantasy points to go around in the late game.
I don't think there's any injury concern with Holiday either, so I think you're safe there. I don't see any.
Drew, yeah, no, I mean he's guaranteed big minutes as well.
Yeah, I don't see any late
usage
just
big
happened.
minutes.
Yeah. Darren Collison obviously is in play. I think you can still look at him even if Ty Lawson plays. You have Garrett Temple out. You have Omar Caspi out. You have. There's someone else. Who am I missing? Or is that it?
Rudy Gay is out. I mean,
well, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm just trying to think if there's any immediate news of guys that have been playing. But Collison's definitely in play. What about Tony Parker tomorrow at 4,500?
Well, I do want to mention about Collison real quick is that, if there's no Lawson, you have to look at him. He's going to get big minutes. He played 44 minutes last game. And he's going to play 44 minutes against Drew Holiday. I like it no matter really what the price is on this slate. I just said Rubio had 44 DraftKings points against Holiday.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Collison puts up 44, but
I don't think so either. But 44 minutes. If Lawson doesn't play, I think he has the best matchup on his team. So So I think he's one of the guys I'm definitely looking at tomorrow. Now, Tony Parker. It seems too good to be true. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's only 4,100 on DraftKings. He's averaging 30 minutes in his last 3. I mean, it's really not. His upside is really low. But I mean, this guy kind of just does what this team needs him to do.
I just think Tony Parker's a matchup only kind of guy, and we've seen him do well against teams like Denver, teams with good matchups. So
yeah, I like him. I mean, like I said, he does whatever the team can do. And if you look at it, 2 games ago, he had 12 shots, and which is uncharacteristic for him, to take 12 shots. Mm-hmm. And then the next game, he only made 1 shot and had 12 assists. So if one guy's feeling it, he'll just dish the ball. If the team is struggling to score, he can score. It's just the only caution I have with that play is, like, are they really going to need 30 minutes of Tony Parker tomorrow?
And they might not.
Yeah.
So here's someone that, and I know moved to shooting guards, but here's someone that popped up in an optimal that made me kind of go back and look. Tim Frazier has been getting 20 minutes and 24 minutes the last 2 games. Obviously, injuries have played a role. If the same guys are out tomorrow and Tim Frazier gets his 20 minutes at minimum salary, definitely someone that you can look at.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's if Evans isn't back. Evans is listed as probable. And if Evans comes back, he's going to push Frazier out of the rotation. The only reason he's been in the rotation is because Moore and Evans have been out.
Exactly, and that's why I say if the same guys are injured, he'll see 20 minutes again, and he's in play.
Right.
At minimum salary. So then you
But again, I don't know if we're not going to know that because that's the late game.
Yep. So that'll be
tough.
That'll be a late slate only thing. All right, so Dwayne Wade we've talked about. He's under 8K. If Jimmy Butler's out, that's a must play.
Yeah, he's 7,000 on DraftKings.
I'm gonna stay away from Lance Stevenson and Brandon Rush.
Yeah, after the last game, it's definitely become a wait and see approach with what they're doing with that shooting guard position. I think they spread the minutes out to 5 guys.
DeRozan 8,800. I'd rather roster Kyle Lowry for 87, like you mentioned. KCP's their best defender.
Yeah, in this game specifically, I'm limiting my plays to 1 guy on either side. Perhaps somebody on the bench, but this is the one game that I'm really limiting my exposure to on this 4-game slate.
Talked about Tyreek, Garrett Temple. Ben McLemore is up to 4,100. Again, that entirely depends on injury news, which we won't have most likely by the time actually, I guarantee we won't have that injury news by the time the main slate kicks off. So that'll be a late slate only play, in my opinion, unless you want to get really, really risky.
No Ben McLemore, man?
If Temple sits, I can support it, yes. But I'm not going to roster.
Wow.
I'm not going to roster him on the main slate, knowing that some of these guys might play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going there either, man. He's up to 4,000 on DraftKings too. I will say that I kind of like Evans tomorrow if he plays. I like his matchup.
I do as well.
I like what he does on a points per minutes basis. And if there's any time I'm going to play him, it's going to be on this short slate in a good matchup like this. And he gets the 3rd highest usage on his team when he's on the court. I think he could do some work tomorrow.
Oh shit! Temple is out 2 to 3 weeks. Wow, I missed that completely.
Yeah, Temple's been out.
My bad. I don't know who I was thinking of.
Yeah, he hurt his hamstring pretty bad against Houston in that one game.
Ty Lawson is who I meant. Is who I was referring. That's the matchup I was talking. If Ty Lawson's back, Ben McLemore's minutes are less. But,
right, he's out.
Yeah.
And again, Lawson was upgraded to questionable, and it's a game time decision. So when your game time is 7 hours after lock time, kind of sucks.
Buddy Hield, I like tomorrow as well, especially if Tyreek doesn't play.
Yeah, I think I'm only on Hield if Tyreek plays, and even if he doesn't play, I don't know if I really like him.
Buddy's another star in this league, I'm telling you.
Oh God.
Right. So you have Jaylen Brown, Brandon Ingram, and then Buddy Hield's right below that. Ben Simmons will fall in somewhere, but those three are going to be the best out of that draft class.
Pretty shitty draft class.
No, I don't mean that. Jalen,
Malcolm Brogdon is the best player of that draft class so far.
when you have the GOAT coming out of the draft class, I don't think you can classify it as a bad draft class.
He does kind of look like a GOAT, but he's nowhere near playing like one.
Not yet. Give him some time. All right. Okay. So who are you looking at, if any, in the San Antonio New York game from shooting guards? Both teams are pretty bad against shooting guards. I think I like Manu.
See, so tomorrow I'm thinking that Minnesota, San Antonio, New Orleans, and Sacramento are the four teams that I can consider rostering multiple players, right?
Uh-huh.
And the other four teams, I'm trying to find the one guy, that I like the best. On San Antonio, I'd rather play Parker over Manu. And on New York, I really want to wait and see what happens. I mean, we're going to get it before it locks, so I want to see if they do what they did last time. I don't know if that was a matchup approach. Yeah, and pushing Porzingis to center. If they run the same starting lineup out, which I feel like they're not going to do. I feel like that was just an approach against Denver to try and combat their starting five.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they do decide to start Brandon Jennings again, I think Brandon Jennings is the one guy that I like on the Knicks over everybody else.
I agree. I love Brandon Jennings if he starts at shooting guard.
If he doesn't start, I think I'd like to play Rose over Melo or Porzingis.
So here's the reason I think you're right on that center approach. I don't see Dwayne Dedmon as someone that Porzingis is necessarily the best matchup for. I see more of that as a Kyle O'Quinn matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was just a one-time thing, but you could be wrong. It's the Knicks, so we never know what they're trying to do. They're just constantly trying to switch it up on us to try and who knows. But I hope they stick with that starting five. Honestly, I think that is their best chance to win. To just punt the defense at all. Take the center out of play and run with teams. It's the only way they're going to really make some noise.
Here's your small forward slate. It doesn't even fit up a whole page. This is it.
That's it.
No scrolling.
And Butler might not play.
So, Wiggins, definitely in play.
Yep.
I'm not going to look at Marcus Morris or DeMar Carroll. Kawhi's in play. Melo, I think because of limited options, is in play. And then after that, maybe Terrence Ross.
So this is my player pool that I have. I have Kawhi, obviously. I want Wiggins over Melo in this game, in both these matchups, especially if Butler doesn't play.
I like him even if Butler plays. That doesn't worry me.
Yeah, I'm just saying Wiggins over Melo, especially if Butler doesn't play. I like Matt Barnes. I'm not going to lie. I like Matt Barnes. I know he was limited last game, but, New Orleans gives it up to small forwards. And
at
I think he's in a good spot. Yeah, I think that's cheap for him. If he gets 33 to 30 minutes, if he gets 30 minutes at 5,100 in a positive matchup, I like it in this game. I don't love it, but where else we got? What else are you gonna do? You got, like I said, we got Kawhi, Wiggins, and then I'd probably go Barnes. I think you can consider Carroll and or Ross. I guess if Butler doesn't play, you can somewhat consider McDermott. I would rather not do that. But yeah, this isn't where you're going to get your value tomorrow. It's not going to be from small forward.
Options are severely limited.
But there literally is no value that I'm looking at small forward.
I agree.
Maybe Solomon Hill. I think you could possibly go Solomon Hill. We saw he gets significant minutes. He's like a half a point per minute guy, but sometimes I guess he can.
Mike, you're chasing.
Again, I'm reaching, man.
You're reaching hard right now. Fuck it,
why not? I'm just trying to put it out there, yeah. I mean, if I had to pick one guy at small forward under 4K, it'd probably be Solomon Hill.
Power forward, obviously, Dang, you mentioned you like Taj Gibson, Mirotic, maybe at his price, depending
I
on
somewhat like Mirotic tomorrow.
depending on
I
what.
never like him again. If
Yeah,
Butler doesn't play. If Butler doesn't play, at 3,400 on DraftKings, I think you can look at Mirotic tomorrow. Again, he's a points per minute guy and is seeing like 15 to 20 minutes. Oh, man, I don't know. That, to me, that could work out. I think you can look at Gibson, too. I think they're going to have to play some extra minutes for him with the Gorgie Jang, Karl Anthony Towns front court,
I'd rather go Mirotic over Gibson.
I'm just saying, I think he's going to be on the higher end of his minutes.
I agree.
If Butler plays, I like Gibson over Mirotic. If Butler doesn't play, I like Mirotic over Gibson. How about that?
Fair enough. What about Tobias tomorrow?
Yes,
I think he's going to be overlooked.
Like either Tobias or Drummond, whatever you can fit in your lineup. That's where I'm targeting that game for Detroit.
I think I'm going to pass on Drummond.
It's a good matchup. I mean, top 5 team DVP last 10. So he's just a little overpriced, but then again, you got to compare him to the other centers, and I guess we'll get there.
Anthony Davis is in an amazing matchup.
He is. So I looked at the last time these two teams played, and Davis won the boogie matchup. But that could go either way on any given night. So I don't know. I still like the Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis stack. Won me money last night, I guess. So maybe I'm biased, but I think I like Davis more than Boogie tomorrow.
Obviously, Terrence Jones, Willie Cauley-Stein. If Terrence Jones is out, do you look at Montejunas again?
No, because they put a Cunningham in, and he played like 35 minutes. Testing me right now.
He's trying to make you laugh.
I know.
All right, what about LaMarcus against
I should have worn my Cuse jersey in honor of Fab Melo tonight. May he rest in peace. 26 years old, man.
I agree.
That's where I'm at. I can't imagine.
He was a former Celtic, so.
That's right. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. He was on.
That was a goofball.
He was on his way to being the GOAT, and I don't know, just didn't formalize.
He needed to stay with the Cuse for a little longer.
Yeah, but then the Celtics probably wouldn't have drafted him, and he doesn't have a chance.
Maybe he wouldn't have died if the Celtics didn't draft him, man.
I was watching a video today of him and Paul Pierce in practice, and Paul was just absolutely schooling the guy. Felt bad for him.
Oh, man. So, this power forward spot at Toronto, if Pat is out, we've seen Siakam start and get, the ceremonial start, and
not do much.
Then they play Nogueira for like 26 minutes. But, I mean, Detroit's is a pretty big front. Any thoughts on Jared Sullinger, perhaps, as a sneaky punt play?
I mean, yeah, you have to look at him, but do I like him? No.
I don't know. I just think it could be a sneaky punt play.
It depends how many minutes they give him.
Trying to combat the size. That's what I'm saying, but if they're trying to combat the size of Detroit, perhaps they give him some more minutes.
No, I agree. I love Sullinger's game. I used to use him in 2K all the time. He was a rebounding machine in that game, man. Back on the Celtics. Another GOAT, I'm telling you.
But I think Cauley-Stein's in play as well. Someone I really like at power forward is LaMarcus Aldridge today.
That's what I was asking you about. Is LaMarcus Aldridge against New York? I like him.
Yeah, I think he can go Parker, Kawhi, and LaMarcus Aldridge.
That's a scary stack.
I think that would be.
That is a scary stack.
It is, but I'm only playing in tournaments, and I think that stack will allow me to do more than the Minnesota stack will allow me to do. I could perhaps still get Wiggins and still get Rubio.
It's true. So here, you're gonna have to make a decision.
God, look at all this love, man. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I'm humbled, guys. If you're listening, I'm responding to this chat who is somewhat like not even listening to things I'm saying anymore, I guess.
They're just admiring your looks.
I guess.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm wearing my work shirt and my work jacket, by the way. I'm really not, wearing any designer stuff.
Theo's making me want to do my hair from now on, man. I feel like I can't come on the show as my natural self. I gotta get ready for the show, otherwise I'm gonna get outclassed and outlooked by you.
All right. Let's cool our jets here.
Jesus. Theo, take that to the Slack group, bro.
We got this, man.
Karl Anthony Towns or Boogie if you're paying up for center.
Boogie. I don't know. I like Drummond over Lamal. I know you say you don't like Drummond much, but actually, at 8,700, I don't know if I like it as much. He's under 8K on DraftKings, so I like it more. But Davis is my center that I like the most, even though he's not a center. On FanDuel, I would probably pick. I think I would probably pick Drummond.
Boogie.
So you go Anthony Davis and Boogie?
Actually, one of the optimals spit them out, yeah, and I kind of liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was just assuming that you had to pick one or the other. If you can get both, then yes. I like that.
Let me find it for you. I just want to.
Yeah, if you can get both, I'm on board with that. But I think that means you have to fade Kawhi, who I think is the best play on the slate.
Let's find this. It is. Okay, tell me what you think. I'm gonna give you guys a. I'm gonna give you guys a lineup. You can tell me what you think. Ricky Rubio, Kyle Lowry, KCP, Danny Green, Matt Barnes, Terrence Ross, Taj Gibson, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins.
Wow. Yeah, I do like that, with the exception of Danny Green, but I think you can probably pivot.
You can go down to man.
Nice. Yeah. Probably pivot nicely. I'm on board with that, man.
So I saw that and I was like, that's the only lineup it spit out with both of them in it. But I saw that, and I immediately liked it.
And if you're listening and watching and you like that idea, that's just one of those optimals, man. Start your trial and check them out.
Yep, one of the 15 that you get for each slate to use as a tool.
What's so funny?
Sheeb. Hey Theo, but you can't use that camera reference, bro, because that whole camera got hose thing. That thing doesn't work anymore, man. We see.
Batum got all the hose now.
Yep. Yeah, Slack group is definitely the place to be. I agree with you, Mike.
Now, I will say, Drummond has nobody else around him in price. And that, to me, means that if he's in a good matchup and there's no one else to pivot around him, that it could be a nice fade. Because when you're talking about lineup building, especially on FanDuel, I think a lot of people wait to put their center in. And then if
you get to
that's
that
where their price comes to and there's no one else around him, they're going to pick Drummond. Because, he's not in a bad matchup. So that could be a reason to fade him. And just the fact that this game is presenting to be the lowest scoring total by far, if you look at what I have projected. And again, those projections will come out tomorrow as well.
They'll come out tonight. I'm almost done with them.
Tonight. Well, no, I'm talking about my point projections.
Oh, your point projections. My projections are coming out tonight. Yeah, I'm almost done with them already. Mike wants to know what we said about Ricky Rubio. We like him.
Yeah, so Ricky Rubio has the best matchup on his team when you consider DVP, and he's in a good game too. I feel like this could be one of the higher scoring games on the slate, and his minutes are safe too.
All right, Dwayne Dedman. We gotta talk about him against the Knicks. I am so worried about this play tomorrow.
Why? Is you locking him in?
No, I'm not locking him, but I just worry. It seems too good to be true, and this is a classic pop move. I just see David Lee starting at center and playing 35 minutes.
I like David Lee tomorrow. I mean, everybody on San Antonio is in play. So, to me, I'm evaluating them based on price and matchup. And, Dedman, if you look at the last game, they were playing Detroit, right?
Yep, against Drummond.
They're playing Detroit, right. So, they needed him to be out there. I don't necessarily think they need him to be out there today against New York. I mean, like I said, if they go with Porzingis at the 5, I could easily see him
David
being
Lee.
on LaMarcus Aldridge at the 5, or David Lee. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's what I'm. That's why I'm saying it just feels like a trap. It really does. And
right. I don't think you get too worried about this game. I think you like San Antonio's got the best matchup. I want their best players, and I want to look elsewhere for value. You know what I mean?
Now I think. Do you look at Jonas Valanciunas tomorrow? I made the mistake of not looking at Drummond D, and Drummond is terrible on defense.
Yeah, perhaps. Again, I'm trying to limit my exposure to one guy out in Toronto, and I think I'm just going to stick to Lowry. I think you can look at Van Vliet as well. You can get on that private jet. Van Vliet yourself.
Fuck.
To the top of the leaderboards. I don't know, Reggie Jackson, Ish Smith defense. That's where I'm going with Toronto. I don't think necessarily JV's a bad play. I mean, there's really, again, nobody else around him. Who else you got? Maybe some, I guess you could put him in the same price range as David Lee and Toby Harris. But what is going on right now? Man, I want to go on a date with Tom Brady if he was paying me.
Be careful, bro. Talking about Tom Brady, I'm telling you. I made that mistake already.
All right, I'll chill. God, I'm all flustered.
Mike doesn't get this much love from his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, right? That's for damn sure. O'Quinn and Hernan Gomez. What's your take?
I fade it.
I think you look at O'Quinn if he starts.
Here's what I'm doing at center.
Even if he doesn't start, you can look at him, I think.
Here's what I'm doing at center tomorrow. It's really, really simple. Take a guess.
Boogie.
Yep.
Going to the boogie dance.
You want to know who else I'm looking at? Boogie.
Yeah.
Just Boogie. Boogie's a lock. I guarantee you, and I promise you this, you won't see a lineup tomorrow that I have without Boogie in it.
No, that's a very smart way to go. I don't hate you for that. But again, I think by doing that,
thank you for not hating me. I appreciate that.
No, no problem, man. I don't hate the Boogie call in every lineup. That's a smart way to play. Now on DraftKings, I think playing Boogie means fading Davis. On FanDuel, you've proven that is not the case. But on DraftKings, I think on this slate, it is. Again, you can do it. You can. I'm afraid of what that really means. I haven't really gone and built lineups too much. But I definitely want to try that. I want to start a lineup and have Boogie and Davis and then see what I can get.
Telling you, man. Boogie's a lock. Davis, I mean, if he fits into the lineup, cool. But Boogie's a lock.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So let's go through it, man, and let's talk value. Because it really is tough to find value today. And like I said, we want to try and get Boogie and Davis. I mean, we at least got to bring up some value plays, which we really haven't done today for the people. I mean, we talked a little bit about Tony Parker. I talked about Mirotić a little bit if Butler doesn't play.
I like Mirotić. All right, so let's go. Let's do this.
What about What about Ish Smith?
Ish Smith is in play against Kyle Lowry defense or Corey Joseph, whoever he plays up against. He's been getting minutes. Here's who else I'm looking at. John Lure.
No, I'm not doing that either. Not going there.
I think you can.
I don't know. I never have love for John Lure. I could be overlooking it, but
You're
I guess prove me wrong. I mean, why should I look at John Lure?
Because he's consistent. He's got a good matchup. He's good for, I don't know, fucking 20 points.
I guess his minutes are consistent, but
35, 34. I mean, he'll get you 25 points at least. Maybe. I'm not gonna say at least, actually. He'll get you 20 points at least.
I don't know. I guess I would rather play Kyle O'Quinn at power forward for the same price for his upside. I don't know if I'd look at Lure in the tournament.
Tom Brady wants you to talk about Manu Ginobili.
Why? I don't really like. I mean, okay, so Manu Ginobili is a points per minute guy. This is my take on Manu Ginobili. I guess if you take anything from this is what people want. So, Manu Ginobili is a points per minute guy that plays mostly with the second team. He somewhat can carry a high usage percentage if the second team isn't doing well, and he's in a good matchup. Like I said, everybody on San Antonio is in play, but he's also shows a lot of duds, and his upside is probably around 25. Like, his floor is 5, his upside is 20, his ceiling is 25.
He said his floor is 5.
I don't know why I just got really hostile there talking about Manu Ginobili. I didn't mean for it to come out like that. Manu's a good guy. I mean,
yo, you know what made me laugh the other day? I seen this.
He owns the hairdo,
No, I seen this the other day, and I fucking died. I'm sorry. I don't know why I got so excited about that. I saw a projection for a player. It was a value play. His floor was -4. What?
Damn.
How do you?
Was it John Henson?
No, but how the fuck do you develop a floor of negative points? Like, what?
I don't know. If any player could do it, it'd be one of the players in Milwaukee, dude, because Jason Kidd.
Yeah, but what the and then I saw another floor and ceiling, and I don't even know how this is a projection, by the way. A floor of 10 and a ceiling of 70. How?
Yeah, it sounds like Brandon Jennings.
Really though, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't. Whatever. I just don't understand how. I don't understand how some of these projections. Yeah. I just don't understand how some of these projections are formulated. I really don't. Like, how do you get a negative projection? That means you have to
negative points.
You have to average more turnovers than you score points, rebounds, or assists combined.
Yeah.
How?
I guess
I don't know.
Yeah, that will never happen.
I don't know. Whatever. Rant over. I laugh at some of the shit
Some people's projections.
Some of the shit I see.
Yeah.
Shabazz Muhammad, definitely he's in play. You mentioned Lucas. I don't know if I want to use my centers. Well, I personally will not use my center spot on Lucas Nogueira. It's going to Boogie.
Right. Well, I guess he's more of a DraftKings play then. But I don't know, Shabazz, I guess there's something to be said about consistency with him. He does possess some upside in the mid-30s, and his role is defined. He keeps saying this. He is the guy on the second team that garners the usage, and he plays 20 to 24 minutes.
You know what?
Whereas the rest of the value on Minnesota, it's really undefined at this point.
I'm going to check something real quick, but I just saw something, and I kind of like it. Anthony Tolliver tomorrow. That's my value play of the day.
Going up against Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis will play the center, but yeah.
So who do you think he'll be up against? Terrence Jones, I guess, if he plays?
Terrence Jones, Cunningham. Yeah. But New Orleans is terrible against pretty much every position. And power forward, they're one of the worst. Anthony Tolliver will get at least 25 minutes and has a ceiling of about 35. So somewhere within that 10-minute range. 3,700.
Good workout.
Especially if some of the guys that are on injury reports don't play. The minutes got to go somewhere, so
Could work out. I think I'm going to stick with the call with Mirotic if Butler's out.
I like Mirotic as well. I guess they're the same price and they're both at power forward, but
Right.
something to
Only
look at.
Butler's out. Talked about Van Vliet, I guess.
I like.
I don't know. I'm somewhat concerned that they had 4 days rest. Tried out 4 days rest, and so maybe Corey Joseph wrote an apology letter for what he'd been doing wrong.
I like Buddy Hield, obviously. Buddy Hield, if he gets hot, will go off. Buddy's buddy. That's my buddy right there. I should go see this game just so I can see the GOAT in action.
Yeah, give me Evans, man. I'll take Evans over Buddy all day.
I mean, you can play Evans if he's on the sideline. If he's hurt, I don't know why you would play him, but...
No, I'm saying if he plays,
Oh,
obviously.
you didn't say that. You just said, give me Evans.
Well, he's probable to play, so I'm assuming that he does. Probable to play. I like Evans. I like Muhammad at shooting, or I guess he's small forward on FanDuel, but on DraftKings as shooting guard. I think we've talked about enough value.
Yeah.
Again, I want to talk about the games too. I think if you're picking games, the best game to look at is going to be the New Orleans-Sacramento game. And then I look at San Antonio. I don't necessarily look at New York, but I look at San Antonio and I look at I think those are the 3 spots where I'm going. San Antonio, New Orleans, and Sacramento are my 3 favorite teams to target on this slate.
New Orleans, Sacramento, and San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that. Although I can go Minnesota as well. I can throw Minnesota in there. There's no stack on Chicago that I'm looking at. There's no stack on New York. Not really a stack on Detroit. And then the only stack I can see on Toronto is Lowry and Val.
Yeah, I don't know, if I had to pick my favorite players on Detroit and Toronto, I would pick I think I would pick Lowry. My favorite plays, let's put it that way. I think I would pick Lowry and Toby Harris. And then on Chicago and Minnesota, I would pick Wade and Wiggins. Or no. Yeah, no, I'd pick Wade and Wiggins if Butler's out. Butler plays, I like Rubio.
I don't think Butler plays tomorrow.
Again, he was downgraded to questionable. He's got that heel injury, and apparently he was limited to 30 minutes. I don't know how that is. Do I like Brandon Jennings? I don't know. I wish he was 4,400 on DraftKings. He's not, but I would love him if he was. I believe he's 50. I think he's more than Rose tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'll let you know. But yeah, if he starts, I like Jennings over Rose. Yeah. Oh, he is only 4,400. Wow. Yeah, I do like that if he starts. If he doesn't start, I don't like it.
Well.
Is that real? Yeah, it's real.
It's crazy. Well, guys, it's been another fun episode of the Fantasy Phenom. But if you aren't a pro member, Ryan just asked if this is only FanDuel. Absolutely not. We do DraftKings as well. This is just a FanDuel night. Every other night we do each other's site. So tomorrow night we'll cover DraftKings prices and everything. But the sheets we send out are DraftKings and FanDuel projections, optimal lineups, all of that good jazz, player stats, DVP, everything you need to build a successful lineup. If you aren't already following us on Twitter and Instagram, make sure you're on that. Make sure you like that Facebook business page. That is where Mike goes live pre-lock every day. Well, every day he can. Get you all the injury news, question and answer. You get a free 7-day trial for signing up. And then if you don't enjoy it, you can cancel at any time. And most importantly, you get an invite to the Slack group. and that is the place to be. Telling you, there is no better chat group out here for DFS than the Fantasy Phenoms Slack group.
It's definitely entertaining. So tomorrow, being that it is a 4-game slate, if you're a pro subscriber, I'm gonna release to you all the stats that I consider when I'm game stacking or team stacking, and players to consider on either team based on other statistics. So look forward to that. And again, live lock show seems to be gaining momentum. A lot of people coming in there firing up questions. Just like one at a time, man. It's like rapid fire, and we've had a couple of very important lock shows, I would say, on this week. You know, we had the Denver news and the Cleveland news, everything happening all at once, right on the show, and kind of bring it to you live. And I guess also, you know, with the lock show, my face is like right in your face too. I'm only like a couple inches away, if that intrigues you.
Theo tunes in every day. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you again for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. For those of you that are subscribed, I'm sure we'll continue this in the Slack group, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good night.